Maybe we can go around and introduce ourselves. Jihan, please go ahead.
My name is Jihan. I am the co-founder of Nami Nori in West Village. I've been in New York for about 18 years now, and at the same time been doing food for the last 18 years.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia. I am the founder of Oddball. We make reimagined childhood nostalgic snacks but with real food.
And hey everyone, my name is Sandro Roco. I'm the founder and CEO of Sanzo, and we're the first Asian soda sparkling water utilizing real fruit, really celebrating Asian flavors and Asian culture. Glad to be here.
Growing up, I didn't really see a lot of like CEOs and founders in, when I was growing up. But as you guys were starting your companies and growing, like, what barriers have you faced? Or did one really exist as you're kind of building your company, building your brands, and what have you had to overcome to kind of be at the level where you guys are today?
Actually, I think I was fortunate to not have that many barriers. The type of food that I make is Japanese, and Japanese food is loved by everyone these days. And also it's very hard to make, so it was very specialized. During my training at all the restaurants that I was working at, a lot of cooks could not do what I was doing, and so we were kind of spoiled, I guess you could say. And so that when I created my restaurant, it was different, and people they just accepted us, and it was like I personally did not have to go through any barriers, and also there was at that point a lot of people around in the community that was really there to support, which wouldn't have been the case 18 years ago when I first started, but it had changed a lot by the time that I was starting my own business.
I think for me, I have a second barrier. I'm also a woman, and I think for me growing up, I actually didn't think that entrepreneurship or being a founder was in my story, right? Because there were just not that many people that looked like me. I think as I grew older and I started meeting and just watching other Asian women become successful, right? And these are people like Wenzhou from Philip Lim and Cheng from Fly by Cheng and Zhu from Hero Cosmetics, right? And today I'm very fortunate that they're all my investors and they're all on my board, right? Which is a really intentional thing that I've been trying to do and build. But really for me, having even just visually these people to look up to and be able to guide me is something that's very important, right? So, for example, when it comes to fundraising, only 3% of venture funding goes to women, right? And this is after all the marketing and all the movement and all this noise that's been saying we should be investing in women and investing in diversity. So, it's tough out there, but my mentality is, when I was on the way here, I actually saw a poster that's gonna sound cheesy, but it has 5 words, right? It was a Nike poster that says, "You can't win, so just win." Right? So it really is just about winning. So yeah, no matter whether it's about winning and being an Asian founder and a woman founder, it's just about winning. So
Gonna be a little cheeky because we're having fun tonight, right? Everyone's got a couple drinks. I would think right now we're actually on a night like tonight, actually living through a little bit of that barrier. We're in a very competitive beverage category that's very capital intensive. That's going up against brands like Perrier, owned by Nestle, been around for 150 to 175 years. In many ways, has roots, especially in American culture, around what singularly defines aspirational culture, and that for a brand like Perrier, that'd be the French Alps, right? Or you're walking through a city in Paris. I think why we're here tonight, especially as 3 founders in celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, is that we're kind of redefining what it means to be an aspirational brand. Whether it's through Jihan's savant level cooking and food preparation with Nami Nori, through Oddball, through what we're trying to do here at Sanzo, there's been a narrative that's been around, for again centuries plus, around what is aspirational and what is desirable. Sanzo's a brand is celebrating Asian flavors to put our cultures, our faces, our voices on that pedestal next to brands like Perrier, to say, hey, here's another way that here's another thing that you can aspire to, here's another thing you can desire. and we do that through our sparkling beverages.
One question I have for Sophia and Sandro is, have you noticed a shift in sort of consumer adoption, right? So you mentioned the Asian flavors and Asian products, maybe healthier versions. What's been the response to not just the Asians that live domestically, but also the general public? Are you seeing massive adoption? So anything that you can share there?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We've been around 6 years. We're now sold in over 4,000 stores across the nation. It's been pretty interesting too. We commissioned a study last year that found that actually over 70% of Sanzo consumers, people who actually purchase us in retail stores, and that includes Whole Foods, as of this past week, Walmart, Costco, which we launched last year. Over 70% of our customer base is actually not Asian American. So that means about 30% is, which still over-indexes versus the Asian population in the United States is roughly 7 to 10%. So we're still over-indexing there, but the fact that over 70% of Sanzo customers are not Asian American is to us showing that Asian culture is really having its moment. And so, I think we're only still in the earliest stages, because you have the next generation of brands like Oddball continuing the momentum. And so, I think we're only in the first chapter.
I totally agree with Sandro.
It's my fault. I named the company after myself.
But I'm riding off of the momentum that people like Sandro built, right? And Jihan as well. And everything is a collective effort. But I think what I was trying to do with our product too is to pick something that was ubiquitous globally, right? And for a food like jelly, actually, there's American Jello. But all the Asians here would remember the lychee jellies growing up, right? So I always say this is what Jello should have been with an Asian twist, but it's a true East meets West, right? Because I spent half of my life in the US and half of my life in Asia. So this is kind of what my version of the combination of best of both worlds is. So I think that it's important to reach a group like consumers that is not too niche, right? And you need more than that when it comes to CPG because volume is the game.
One of the things I found really interesting about each of your companies and how you positioned your companies with partnerships, it's been very strategic and unique. And so, Jihan, you and I were chatting earlier about knowing Pharrell and having him be a part of the company. Tell us about what that process is like and how important that sort of strategy has been for Nami Nori.
When I first met him, it was through a friend, and that friend I didn't know was married to Pharrell's business partner, and so it was just very coincidental. But he had reached out because he wanted us to open Nami Nori in his surf park that he's about to open in the next month. And not that many people know, but Nami Nori actually means surfing in Japanese, and so we just kind of had this goosebump moment, and we were like, okay, we gotta figure out what this is. And so we actually really researched and dug into it, and it was this huge water park that was specific for surfing, and you pay admission and you go there and surf for an hour. But there's restaurants, there's concert venues, and it's also all about really kind of redeveloping the area for where he's from. And we thought it would be a really cool synergy to partner with him with that. And as a joke, I was just I would love to, I would give you my equity for free just for you to be part of our journey. It's like a give and take. We would love to do things with you, and in return, I'll give you my equity. But it's, he really wanted to be a part of it, and so he did end up investing a little bit. But through that partnership, we've opened up a location in Miami. We're opening more. We do all the caterings for Louis Vuitton now, which is something that we never even talked about when we first talked to him. But he just loved the concept so much. Anywhere we are, anywhere he's doing something, he wants us to be there. And so I just got back from Miami today because we were catering for Louis Vuitton in Miami, and they asked us to now be part of the after party in June, and that's been like one of those things where we never even imagined that it would happen that way. And we just thought it would be like a one-off thing, and it just, you know, when somebody really loves the product, and it's not even about money, like he's not making that much off of what we're doing, but he just wants us to be there. He wants his friends to have the food, and I think that's like the idea of the perfect partnership, when people are giving and helping without really asking for anything in return, but it's all about like sharing with the people, and that's how our partnership is. And it's very special that way.
Last question. We're in a room of not just consumers, but investors and advisors. What is your ask of the community here at The Well? You know, how can we help you guys in terms of your growth and where you guys want to be? And yeah, maybe Sandro, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, mine's pretty simple. If you like us, if you're interested in what we're doing, buy us. You know, we're available now, like I said, in about 4,000 grocery stores across the United States. We're literally downstairs at the Whole Foods. If you wanted to particularly support us, and yeah, if you have, you know, your businesses are headquartered here in New York, your firms, whatever the case may be, again, like, stock us in your fridges.
Everything that he just said. And invest in women, you know, invest in diversity.
For me, I would like to ask that, you know, as a community, we just kind of stick together. One of my things is always about like doing it together. You know, I don't want to see my friends struggling and I'm like at the top. Now, I'm not saying that I'm at the top and I'm nowhere close to there, but I'm all about like, let's do it together so we can all party at the top, you know? And so I just want to be surrounded by good people. And so if you know good people, like send them my way, and I would do the same thing. So when I meet people, I'm always like, from the moment I meet them, I'm thinking about, okay, how can I help this person? And then I know that they're doing the same for me. And as long as the product is good, like forget about the food and the drinks and, you know, all of it, just like it's good product, you know, and that's why you're even able to sell it, right? If it wasn't good at all, like I don't think he would be selling it at Whole Foods or Walmart, right? But if you have good product, like, and you're surrounding yourself with good people, like the business is gonna be there, and we're all gonna do it together, and we're all gonna be at the top and hanging out, partying, and enjoying life together. And that's, I think, you know, why a lot of us are doing this. You know, we don't, you know, want to do it alone, you know.